Hello and welcome to the Circling the Bases podcast from NBC Sports EDGE. I am Drew Silva. DJ Short is on vacation this week, somewhere on the Jersey Shore, like fist pumping to house music and smashing funnel cakes and getting into fights, or maybe just enjoying a nice relaxing week with his family. Who can really say? So I've brought back Chris Rongey from KMOX in St. Louis and other various radio stations around the globe. Thanks for coming in again, Chris. What's happening?
Hey, man, I feel like clubbing and funnel cakes and fights is more your speed than DJ's.
I know, I'm projecting.
Yeah. You're very much a, hey, let's get into a fight kind of guy. I've always thought that about you.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to project aggression.
Yeah, you do. Oh my God, you're so aggressive.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't start them, but I'll finish them.
Oh, I'll finish it. That's right. Yeah. I won't start fights. I'll end it though. What's up, dude? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. I've been listening to the show actually since we hung out. What was that, on Saturday night? And you showed me actually how to find the podcast it's called The Show.
It is very clever.
And everyone, so I've been catching up. I was listening to a segment today about like sweatiest movies, which was a weird topic.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that's the kind of stuff you'll find on the show. And I forgot what started it, but somebody had mentioned that they went to see Top Gun, and then they started talking about the 1986 Top Gun and realized Tom Cruise is literally sweating the entire movie. And it's a thing I never noticed, but I guess he is. The only takeaway I've ever really had from Top Gun is just the confidence you have to show up to a lady's house on a first date and say, hey, by the way, you're late. You show up late, and then you say, I'm going to use your shower real quick, if you don't mind. Are you kidding me?
Well,
could you ever in your life?
If you look like Tom Cruise in 1986 or whenever that movie came out, or even in 2022, you can kind of do whatever you want, I feel like.
I guess. All six of them can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, the classic rule for, being able to find a significant other, like step 1, be attractive. Step 2, don't be unattractive. He's got that down.
That's it. Just be handsome.
Yeah. I gave you a little homework assignment when I saw you on Saturday to watch The Bear on Hulu. Did you finish it?
I finished the whole thing. I really like it. It's one of those shows that I think will probably get better if they get picked up again. And I don't know if they're I don't know if they've already been picked up for a second season. But I'm hoping that by me watching it, that's one person that's viewed them all, and will help them decide if they're going to bring it back, because it's really, the character development's really good so far. I mean, you've only had 8 episodes, and it was I like it. I actually like it quite a bit. And I told you that the place that they're using as their beef, so it's about an Italian beef joint. For people who haven't watched it, and maybe you've explained it to your viewers, listeners, whatever, but it's about this Italian beef place. And I used to live like around the corner from it and down the block, and it's good. I really liked it. And they're using that as the setting for this show. And I kind of want it to take off. The writing is really good. I know it's getting good reviews, so hopefully that will help, but it's all about how many people watch.
Yeah. It's kind of been, I don't know when it came out. It wasn't like super. It's probably pretty recently, but I heard about it through a podcast that I listened to. I think it's been kind of a word of mouth type show that's really growing. There are so many shows out there. It's almost like hard for some of them to get a groundswell of support. But I feel like this one has. I loved the music of it, and it's like all the kind of bands that I like, a ton of Wilco and like Sufjan Stevens, like real Chicago type music acts. But then also like Counting Crows. I'm a Counting Crows apologist. Yeah. Like a lot of people dunk on Counting Crows, but I llove Counting Crows.
Radiohead right at the end. I think Radiohead was that final episode. But you mentioned that what was it? Stevens. the guy you like, the song, he's got the song called Chicago.
Sufjan Stevens, yeah.
Sufjan Stevens, yeah, that's him. And that, I think it's the second to last episode. This doesn't really give much away, but you hear a DJ introducing a song, and it's Len Bramer from XRT, and he used to, like, I know the dude, and I was like, oh my God, I wasn't expecting that at all. I heard him talking, and I go, oh, that's Lynn. Great. It's a very cool. I like the show quite a bit. I think it's really cool, and I hope they pick up a second season and keeps going, because I do want to see where it goes from here.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't seen it, but there's a lot of directions that they could definitely go. And yeah, I agree. I think the acting and the character development is great, and they've just kind of scratched the surface because, yeah, it was only 8 episodes, and I think most of them are around a half an hour. Like the finale was maybe 45 minutes, but
yeah.
It's just a really well done show, and I'm sure it's going to get picked up for a second season. Like,
I would think so. You're right. The writing is really good. The characters are really good. The acting is good, which, I mean, that's the show. The acting and the writing is the show to me.
Yep.
So I hope it keeps going.
And there's like a baseball reference in every episode. Like,
yeah,
they're talking about Minnie Minoso and like dunking on the Cubs. Like, I bet you can't even name the first baseman for the Cubs to the I don't want to give away too much, but to like what is it, the brother-in-law, and he's like Alfonso Rivas.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, maybe it was Schwindel at that point when they were filming this, but I don't know. Anyway, this is I guess a baseball podcast, usually fantasy baseball, but I don't know. It was kind of a slow news day around baseball on Thursday. I was trying to come up with some topics, like Aaron Judge is day to day with a little calf tightness. It doesn't sound like a big deal. Rafael Devers back in Boston's lineup on Thursday night after missing a couple of games with back and hamstring soreness. Bobby Witt Jr. still sidelined with a bruised hand. He got hit by a pitch on Tuesday night, but x-rays were negative. He should return this weekend. Chris Sale struggled with his control in a minor league rehab start at AAA Worcester on Wednesday night. And by your laughter, I'm guessing you saw that video.
I did.
When he destroyed AAA Worcester's clubhouse afterward. That was interesting. I don't know. There was a lot of like hot takes on that whole thing on Twitter throughout the morning and afternoon. I feel bad for Sale because I don't think he thought that was going to be filmed. And it looks like it was filmed by AAA, the Woo Sox's like social media team, which I don't think he probably.
That's not good.
Yeah.
No.
He kind of said, like, they were talking to him right before the Red Sox game because he has joined up with the team and is going to be activated on Tuesday to pitch against the Rays. But yeah, he was kind of like, I did not know that was going to be on camera.
Usually Chris Sale has his blow-ups behind closed doors. And I know there's some dispute about what actually happened with the jerseys that he allegedly shredded with the scissors or the knife, whatever it was, in the White Sox clubhouse. Some people say that didn't happen, but whatever. He's a red ass, and that's okay. I don't mind players being red asses. I've been around a lot of them, and I think that's all right. I don't know if you're a Red Sox fan, though, and you see him back in the tunnel destroying whatever that is that was on the wall and kicking stuff and whatnot, I would be a little irritated, not because he destroyed something. I mean, that would be, well, number one, that is kind of irritating for the poor person that has to clean it up, but I'm sure Sale's given him a lot of money to do it, to clean up his mess. He's that kind of guy. I think he would. But the other thing is, this dude, people get hurt in the stupidest of ways. Bending over to pick up clothes off the floor, sneezing, getting out of your pickup truck. I mean, there are all kinds of stupid ways that you can hurt yourself. And when you have not been able to stay on the field over the last couple of seasons, I feel like the last thing you want to do is have a guy go 8 nuts in the back and tearing stuff off the wall. You're already hurt all the time, man. Just calm down. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself hurt by freaking out on inanimate objects. So I'm sure Red Sox fans were probably not too happy about that. Like, I wouldn't be. I mean, I know the risk is low that you hurt yourself doing something dumb like that, but it's still there. And when you're never healthy, I feel like the last thing you want to do is put yourself at greater risk of getting hurt again. I don't know. It's a small thing. He's okay. Just got to stop walking dudes. But he's so good, and he's been one of my favorite pitchers to watch over the
Me too.
last 7 or so years. 2012?
Yeah.
Because I was with the White Sox when they got him. When they
2010.
drafted
Yeah.
him, 2010, yeah, they drafted him, then they brought him up. He was in the bullpen. They started him. He started to feel a little elbow or shoulder something. There was some inflammation, and they got scared and put him back in the bullpen, and he freaked out and on him and said, "Nope, I'm a starter, you jerks." So then they put him back in the rotation, and he was so much fun to watch, and I feel like wasted, and it's not his fault, but the team wasted so much of his prime talent years. He was so good with them. They had this great 1-2 punch for a short period of time of him and Jose Quintana, who was really good at that same time. And the White Sox squandered it. And I'm sure that part of him feels like, those were some of the best years of my career, and nothing came of it in terms of winning. So I know he's frustrated that he can't get back out there, and I want to see him pitch. I just, it's a good thing that he didn't hurt himself the other day, and I hope he does get back on the field soon.
Yeah, 7 straight All-Star appearances between 2012, 2018. He finished top 6 in the Cy Young vote, all 7 of those years too. He's awesome to watch when he's fully healthy with that left-handed funky delivery. I was thinking when the Nintendo Wii came out, he was, kind of in his prime, and I was like, they should create a Nintendo Wii game just based on his delivery. Like, you have to copy his delivery or something.
I remember it was not Joe Mauer. It was Justin Morneau. And again, it doesn't matter if it was Mauer or Morneau. I can't remember, but both of them were MVPs, like recent MVPs. And one of them said it was I think it was Morneau, who said it's the most uncomfortable at bat he's ever had. Just being, because the ball's coming from behind him, and he doesn't, he can't see. And then it was so impossible to get a good read on him. But there was a time where Chris Sale was nearly impossible to hit. And I always wondered what it was like to stand in against that and look at it coming in, because it wasn't all power. I mean, there was a lot of power there, but just the movement. I mean, left to right, the lateral movement of those pitches is just, dude, I don't know how anybody could hit against that.
Yeah, he broke what he was breaking there was a TV, but according to the team, that TV had already been broken by another player previously, and Sale
somebody doesn't have Chris Sale's money.
Yeah, exactly. And he bought them like a brand new 80-inch TV and paid for whatever drywall he punched a hole through. So it's all fine in the end.
It's okay.
And he made a point. He's like, I don't work at Bank of America. You can't compare to how I behave to how, some executive in a boardroom behaves or something. This is, you're asking me to be a professional athlete. There's a lot of emotion and passion that goes into it. And sometimes it boils over. And I totally agree with that. It's a bad look to do that to a AAA clubhouse, but he has the money to pay for it. And I think in general, it's good to see passion from guys. Maybe there's a better way to channel it. I don't know. There was a lot of this is the worst thing I've ever seen type tweets today, but that's Twitter for you.
It wasn't the worst thing that you've ever seen, but it just, you're right. It's not a great look, and you want him to calm the hell down, but mainly for the reasons I mentioned. You don't want somebody who has difficulty staying on the field. You don't want them to put themselves in a position where they could get hurt doing something really stupid. You know what I mean? This is a guy who literally injured his foot and missed the beginning of a season because he was hopping off the back of a pickup truck onto the ground. And he screwed up his ankle, and he missed, I can't remember how many starts it was, but he missed most of spring training because of it several years ago. And I remember he was having to throw from his knees, just to keep his arm or get his arm in shape. He was throwing from his knees for a while. So for somebody who has an odd injury history, cool it a bit, dude. You know what I mean? I don't know. That was it for me. That was the most important thing, but thankfully he'll be okay.
He did give up 5 walks in that start. He got pulled after loading the bases with walks, which is why he was so frustrated. But again, the Red Sox are going to activate him on Tuesday to pitch at Tampa Bay. And I mean, he had a 3.16 ERA down the stretch last year, not a huge sample, and like the peripheral numbers weren't as good, but just, if you're playing in a fantasy league, I think you activate him and hope for the best in that start against Tampa Bay. All right. I want to move on. We did a 12-team draft of World Series favorites the last time I had you on. I guess that was exactly 5 weeks ago, June 2nd. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, 5 weeks ago.
Oh.
Does it
I was on in
like...
June? I don't remember any of that, buddy.
We can call it late May.
Okay.
Either way.
I had a great time, though.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I wanted to do a redraft and kind of talk through what has changed. Look at the way the odds have changed if you want to pull up some odds or something. Before we do that, a little promo note. Weekends are better with MLB Sunday leadoff coverage presented by Uber Eats. Catch the Angels take on the Orioles in Baltimore this Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern live on NBC and Peacock. To learn more, go to peacock.com/MLB. And if you want a chance to win $25,000 on the game, download the NBC Sports Predictor app powered by PointsBet and enter Sunday's free Grand Slam Pick'em contest. All right. Do you want to hear the results from last time we did this? I did write them down with the odds at the time.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So you took the Mets first at plus 750. I took the Dodgers second at plus 450.
And this is World Series?
Yeah, this is to win the World Series.
Okay.
And these were the odds at the time, and I can update as we redraft. All right, so Mets went 1. I took Dodgers 2. You took the Astros 3 at plus 900. I took the Blue Jays 4th at plus 1,000. You went Yankees 5th at plus 650. I went White Sox 6th at plus 2,000. Then you went Angels at 7 at plus 1,500. I went Brewers at 8 at plus 1,000. You went Padres at 9 plus 1,200. I took the Braves at plus 1,500, 10th. I really wish I actually put some action on the Braves at the time. You took the Red Sox 11th at plus 5,000. I remember laughing at you, but that seems like a good pick now. And then I went with the Cardinals at 12th at plus 3,000, just a homer pick there. All right. You want to do it again?
Yeah, we might as well.
Okay. I'll go first this time since I gave you first pick last time.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with the New York Yankees. This is at plus 400 now. It was plus 650 5 weeks ago. They're just on a tear. I mean, the offense is incredible. The pitching has been incredible too. I would worry that the pitching down the stretch into the second half gets a little bit more lackluster. Like, can Nestor Cortez keep doing this all year? Jordan Montgomery, Luis Severino. There are some question marks in that rotation. And they're probably going to want to add maybe a reliever or two, but they can do that at the deadline. And if they want to add a position player or two at the deadline, they can do that. I love the offense. I love Garrett Cole. I love the back end of the bullpen. And if they want to beef up on August 2nd or before then, they're already a juggernaut and they're going to become even more of a juggernaut.
That's a pretty good pick, Drew. I think it's the easy pick because right now it's the best offense, best pitching staff. I mean, they're kind of doing everything right now. So it's kind of hard to go against them. I'm going to go with another non-sexy pick, or actually this might be a sexy pick, but it's not off the wall. I'll take the Dodgers right now because they are a team. Maybe arguably the other team that's best all around that's remaining in terms of offense, in terms of their pitching staff as well. Look, they've won already once in this decade. I think they're due for another one. They're good enough to do it again. I know it's difficult to do it multiple times within a handful of years, but it's a good team. So I still like the Dodgers, and I don't know what their number is right now. I'm trying to find the I don't
I
have
have it
the
at
number
plus
in front of me.
450. So the Yankees are the favorite at plus 400, and then the Dodgers
Okay.
are right behind them.
Yeah, I'm not going with value here in this first pick. That's just who I think has the best chance to do it outside New York.
Yeah, we're chalky, and yeah, I mean, like I said with the Yankees, and even more so with the Dodgers, they can fill any hole that they need to. They have that kind of prospect capital, and obviously the financial capital to like take on a bad contract from a rebuilding team or something like that.
Yeah.
I worry a little bit about the bullpen. Like Craig Kimbrell's been, I think, scored upon more than he's not been scored upon
Right.
since May. But they can go get some dominant bullpen arms
They might
somewhere.
get
And
two because they have the resources to do it.
yeah,
So like that's one very important thing that you mentioned, that of all the teams, there are a couple that if they need something at the deadline, they're going to get it. It's not
yeah.
like I wonder if they're going to do anything. No, the Dodgers are going to do it because they can.
They need Walker Buehler back too, but I think that should happen around August. If he can get like a full month before the playoffs, I'd feel very good about their chances. All right, I'm gonna go, and I'll take the Astros. They are on a roll. I do the power rankings for NBC Sports Edge every Tuesday, and I was telling my co-host Janice Scurry, I was like, if there's one, the Yankees have been on top for probably 7 or 8 weeks now. I was like, but if there's one team that's gonna kind of leapfrog the Yankees in these rankings over the next couple of weeks, it's the Astros. They've got definitely the pitching. I feel better about their pitching staff than, man, I think almost anyone. We'll see if the Mets get Scherzer and DeGrom going at the same time. That could be trouble. But what the Astros have done pitching wise over, the last, really since like the beginning of June, has just been incredible. Verlander, Framber Valdez, Christian Javier has been incredible. Luis Garcia, Jose Urquidy. They've got like everything, and they can put one of those guys in the bullpen in the playoffs and have them work as a long man. We see a lot of that in modern baseball playoffs. And then, I mean, the lineup is stacked. It's Altuve, Jeremy Pena could contend for Rookie of the Year. I think Julio Rodriguez is kind of running away with it, but Yordan Alvarez could contend for AL MVP. Alex Bregman can be better than what he's been, and he's been pretty good so far. I'd say the same for Kyle Tucker. And they're a team that could beef up with a bat at the deadline, and I think they will, and get maybe some bullpen help too. So I'm going to take the Astros. They are at plus 550 right now.
So I want to the Astros are a really good bet, and at the risk of being chalky again, well, you know what? I think I'm going to avoid the risk of being chalky because the next team would be the Mets, right? Because they've got the next their next line with the odds. But I don't want to do that because then we're going like in order. So I think just to change it up and just to pick a team with a little bit of value.
You don't have to change it up.
All right, fine. I'm going with the Mets. No, wait, I'm not. Wait, hold on. I don't know if I want to take the Mets here. I really don't. Not yet.
I think that this is the tier. If you're going to like put these teams in tiers, it's Yankees, Dodgers, Astros, Mets, and then I think there's a bit of a drop off, but maybe you disagree.
Well, you're right. There is, but I'm kind of thinking with my first pick, I didn't want to take a value pick. All right, so with my second one, I'm kind of leaning Toronto because I like their pitching staff, even though, well, as far as the results go, I think I like that. Or I'm sorry, their offense. They're not really good pitching team. I think they're like what 14th or 15th.
Yeah, but they can be better
right now.
The offense is underperforming too. They're going to go on a run.
Yeah, and that's kind of why. And they're at what 1,300 plus 1,300. That's kind of why it's attractive to me.
Yeah, if you're looking at this from a betting angle, I would totally agree with you that is actually the team to take right now.
Yeah, because there's honestly nobody else below them that I have any sort of comfort in at all. Like one of the World Series favorites before the season was the White Sox, and I have no reason to have faith in them right now to win the whole thing.
I think that could come together a little bit, but not to the level that it can come together in Toronto.
Yep.
And yeah, they're at plus 1,200 right now. They were plus 1,000 when we did this 5 weeks ago, and they were kind of sputtering then too. They've not had a great season, but with the resources they have like on the roster right now, I'm not even talking about going and getting guys. It's a it's a loaded lineup, and the rotation should be way better than what it's been so far. It's been kind of up and down, but you can rely on Alek Manoah. You can rely on Kevin Gausman. Jose Barrios is going to be better than what he has been, and Ross Stripling is like a fine, solid, if not better than solid, fourth starter. You say Kikuchi was a bad signing, but you know they have maybe Nate Pearson like gets healthy in the second half. They're going to have some options. I think they've got all the parts to be a World Series team, and I agree with you. Like anyone below them or even around them, I can't say the same about.
That is the kind of team that, like, even if they kind of are where they are right now in terms of production, once a playoff series starts, I really would not want to play them at all.
Totally.
Like, I don't want anything to do with Toronto.
Yep. I like that pick.
So,
all right. I'm going to go. So wait, you didn't take the Mets?
I did not take the Mets.
All right. Give me the Mets. I mean, that's we kind of already broke them down. Scherzer's back. He looked like himself with 11 strikeouts over 6 scoreless innings in his first start off the IL. Jacob deGrom, is he making another? Yeah, on Friday he'll make his second rehab start. He struck out 5 of the 6 batters he faced in single A. What was that, on Monday or on Sunday? Hit 101 miles an hour. If he is back to Jacob deGrom and Scherzer is Scherzer and Chris Bassett is coming off the IL on Friday. David Peterson has been a great fill. Like, they've got everything you need. What are they at right now? They're at plus 700. It's not great value. They were at plus 750 5 weeks ago, but I think the betting markets
find it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also the betting markets probably realize like this could actually be a better team in the second half than it's been in the first half. And it's been one of their best first halves in, a few decades. So I guess we could see another, what do they call that? The Subway Series in 2000 when the Mets and Yankees met. It wouldn't shock me if we see that again.
I could get down with that. Look, I don't know what it is about the Mets, but I grew up disliking them a lot. But now I kind of want them to win. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I like Steve Cohen just kind of says, I'm going to spend a lot of money and screw the rest of you. I don't care what you think. I appreciate an owner that's willing to say and do that. So there's a big part of me that wants that to pay off for him. It's not that it's hard to root for billionaires.
Yeah, I was going to say you're a friend to the billionaire.
I'm a big billionaire guy, as you know, Drew. But what I dislike the most is a billionaire who acts like they don't have enough money to make a team competitive. And this guy appears to be the opposite of that. Maybe that's naive on my part and he's got me fooled, but it seems like that's what he's trying to do. And I appreciate that. I
like Buck Showalter too.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's funny because a guy I used to work with, Ed Farmer, rest in peace, did not like Buck very much.
Oh, really?
No, he did not like him at all.
I'm sure he's rubbed plenty in the media the wrong way at certain points, but
yeah,
I'm not really in the media.
Yes, you are.
No.
What do you think you are?
I'm just a dude.
You are a dude, but you're just a dude in the media.
No, disagree.
Okay. Well, do you write for an outlet?
Yeah, but I'm like an aggregator.
What is NBC? What is NBC Sports? What is that? What is NBC Sports Edge?
Wow, that's hard to define. It's a fantasy and betting content company.
Drew, it's an outlet.
I don't know what that means.
It means media. You're a media guy.
I'm a new media guy.
Okay. Yes,
all right, you're on the clock. And
I'm on the
ticking.
clock. All right. What did you picked? I picked the Blue Jays. You picked the Mets. I hate.
Yep.
I don't like any of these teams. Did you pick Braves?
No, that's the one that.
That's it. I mean, then I'll go with Atlanta.
Yeah, that's the only one left that I would. Yeah.
The only reason I don't want to is, and it's not a good enough excuse, but they just won That's the only reason I shy away from them at all, is because they just won and it's almost impossible to go back to back.
Yeah.
So that's it. But it's kind of a stupid reason. I think I know it's more difficult because you play an extra month of the season and that can take a toll on guys the following year. So there's some actual evidence of why it's difficult, it more than it just hasn't happened very often, which isn't evidence. That's just the occurrence, right?
Yeah.
But I think in this case, if I got to pick this low, and I don't believe in anybody else really, I would go with the Braves, who are more than capable. They're really good pitching staff, obviously starting to hit. They've had a really good month here. It's a now a top 10 offense.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like what they're doing, and I don't think they're going to win again, just again because it's so difficult. But if I have to pick of the remaining teams, it's the Braves.
It doesn't seem like the kind of team that would go back to back, but
right.
I agree with you. I think playing so late into the season last year factored into their slow start this year, but they had that 14-game winning streak at the start of June, and they're 26-7 over their last 33 games. So they're getting on a roll. And I don't even think we've seen the full Ronald Acuna Jr. Experience yet. I think he's still he's been working through like some nagging leg injuries. So maybe they do it again. And Ozzie Albies has been out, for going on 4 weeks now. Once they get him back, Dansby Swanson is having an incredible year.
Yeah.
He's playing for a contract. And I know Matt Olson hasn't hit the amount of home runs that a lot of Braves fans would like to see, but he might set a new record for doubles. He's already well on pace to break the Braves franchise record for doubles. Doubles are good too. So I think that was the obvious next pick. They're at plus 900 right now. And like I said earlier, they were at plus 1,500 when we did this 5 weeks ago. And I really wish sports betting was legal in Missouri so that it would have been easy for me to place action on that without having to jump through some hoops to do so. But
you got to get a guy, Drew.
I'm not going to.
You need an Illinois friend.
Yeah, I need an Illinois friend. I don't know what you mean by a guy.
That's an Illinois friend that'll place a bet for you.
Sure. Okay. We gotta be careful about moving on.
Don't do anything illegal.
No, I wouldn't. You know me, never.
I know.
Let me go with, I guess, the Padres.
Yeah.
They definitely need offensive help. They've kind of already said they're going to get a bat at the deadline, and so maybe they get the best one available. I don't know who that would be. I guess Andrew Benintendi is interesting, but I don't know if he gives them the power that they need. Maybe the Rockies make CJ Cron available. They need a slugger for the heart of that lineup, and then they need to get Fernando Tatis Jr. back. They keep delaying his season debut. I think we're now into looking at early to mid-August for him. His left wrist has not really healed since that motorcycle accident over the off season. I'm a little bit concerned about that, but I would assume he's going to be ready at some point before the end of the year. And, I love Joe Musgrove. Yu Darvish is kind of up and down, but you have those two in a playoff series, I would feel pretty good about it. And if you can get some innings out of Blake Snell and Sean Manaea, they've got the pieces to be pretty interesting, but I think there's some work to do to patch the holes on that roster right now. They are at, what are they, plus 1,400. 5 weeks ago, they were plus 1,200. So maybe even a little bit better value right now. But again, I think we're kind of working into the area of teams that aren't necessarily likely to go on a World Series run.
No. You could get a really good price on them if you wanted to right now, but I don't like any of the remaining teams. So which makes me, as I move on to my pick, really want to take a swing. And
Orioles.
not that kind of swing. I'm not trying to give up money on purpose. I kind of want to take the Phillies.
Oh, I was thinking that, man. They're at plus 4,000 where I'm looking at
right?
Bet.
Yeah, they're 40-1 right now. And
Harper's coming back.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's right. Like, they're not a great offense, especially with him out, but they're good enough to win in the playoffs, and their pitching has been pretty good. And Nola and Wheeler have been really good. And I'd feel pretty good about the two of them, 1-2, starting a
Hell
playoff
yeah,
series.
totally.
So, I mean, I guess it gets a little dicier after that, but I mean, I don't know, man. I like as far as being a dark horse candidate, I kind of like the Phillies because the last thing I'm worried about is offense when you get to the playoffs. That's the
Yeah.
last thing I worry about. I mean, I worry about how good your pitching staff is. I mean, I worry about offense too, but I'm looking at a pretty good pitching team here right now.
The top end talent on that team, like there are certainly depth issues, but the top end talent, sometimes that's all you really need to win a playoff
Yeah.
series, and they've got it. I'm gonna go with, man, I want to take a big swing too, and I'm eyeing the Seattle Mariners at
Whoa,
12,000.
dude.
They've played much better baseball lately. They certainly need some power, some offense, but Robbie Ray has like figured out his command issues. I guess sometimes that's a temporary thing with him where he figures it out and then issues a bunch of walks. Logan Gilbert is a rising ace. Chris Flexen's like a steady number 3. I don't know. Julio Rodriguez is gonna he might finish with, I think, what is he on pace for right now? He's on pace for 30, nearly 30 home runs and 40 stolen bases.
He's what, back-to-back rookie of the month, right?
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's a runaway favorite for rookie of the year. Man, I'm not. I mean, if I'm being realistic, I would go with the Red Sox here, but I'm gonna just put me down for Mariners, and now you're up.
All right. I'll take the Sox.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take the White Sox here.
the White Sox. Okay,
the White Sox, yeah. And the reason I'm gonna go with them is, all right.
Eloy's back.
Yeah. Eloy's back. Their offense, it's good enough, I think, to win in a playoff series. I think, but we were just talking about top end talent, and sometimes that's all you need to get through a few series. And with Lucas Giolito, and I know it's kind of been a down year for him, or it hasn't been as good. Dylan Cease has been really good. I'm a little concerned about Michael Kopech with the innings, but still, Lance Lynn has been out for most of the year. Yeah. And once he finally gets in a groove, I feel really comfortable with Lance Lynn. So you might have a pretty good, depending on how things shake out at once you get to playoff time. If you have Lynn and you have Cease maybe at your 1-2, and if Giolito can, like nothing is wrong with him, I think there's kind of maybe some injury concerns there.
He's looked a lot better over his last couple of starts.
Right.
I think that's almost the most important. It's even more important than like Dylan Cease being awesome is if Giolito can just be like,
yes.
Steady.
The only concern I would have with Giolito is if something is underlying wrong, like there's something bothering him, because there were a lot of people speculating over that he had about a 4 or 5 game stretch where he just didn't look right. And that's what people said. Okay, maybe something's wrong with him. And pitchers, they'll try to pitch through it or think it's not that big of a deal. And I don't have any indication that there's something serious wrong with him, but that would be the only reason I'd be concerned. But let's say you have him healthy, and you have Cease healthy, and you have Lance Lynn, who's only thrown 27 innings, so he's fresh. I mean, this dude's fresh, right?
Yeah, it was just a little knee procedure, so he should be good to go.
Yeah, and Johnny Cueto, even like a back end guy. I don't know. I like that rotation. I'd feel pretty comfortable with the pitching staff. It's just, I don't know. The team's kind of a mess, but again, we're getting toward the. We're at the teams that you don't think have much of a chance anyway. So of the teams remaining, you got to pick one. I would go with the Sox.
I think you just talked yourself back into enthusiasm around the White Sox, which
yeah, give it a minute.
Yeah, I'm glad we could do that for you.
Yeah,
on today's show. All right, we'll let you go. Thanks for joining us.
We're done already.
Yeah, aren't we? You did 6 and I did 6.
Did I do 6? Okay. You wrote them down. I didn't write them down.
Yeah. No, we're both good. I took Mariners with my final pick.
Nobody
Even
picked the
though-
Cardinals. You didn't pick your Cardinals at plus 4,000.
I think they're in real big trouble.
Really?
Because they need at least one really effective starter, if not two. And I don't know who's out there. Like Frankie Montas, he's going to go to yeah, exactly. His shoulder, he needed a cortisone injection for his shoulder, and I never like to hear that. Kyle Hendricks is on the injured list with a shoulder injury. Tyler Mahle of the Reds just went on the injured list with a shoulder injury. Those are that's kind of the market where they'd be swimming, you know. And I think Montas is going to be too expensive for them in terms of prospect return. So I don't think, even if he's healthy, I think another team's going to outbid them for him. So you're talking about like, okay, maybe they get Madison Bumgarner. Yeah. He's well past his prime. I don't know. They've got Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, and they should be able to field a more competitive team than they have. But you see what happens when they play teams above 500. And hey, in playoff series, anything can happen. And I think they will get into the wild card.
I do too.
They'll do just enough at the deadline, and then I guess we'll find out. But I would not be betting on them right now. They're at plus 3,300, which I guess is fun value if you want to place $10 on it or something. But I wouldn't make a big commitment to that. I'd rather commit to the Mariners at plus 12,000.
Oh, yeah, and you did that. Well, there's a bigger payoff for you.
Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the Circling the Bases podcast wherever you get your podcast. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Drew Silva. What's your Twitter name? Chris Rongey?
Yeah, just at Chris Rongey. I went as clever as we went with the show on KMOX.
You're a real marketing genius.
Right?
Yep.
Everybody's talking about how lame the name is. See, now you know. Now you heard of it.
That's really smart. At least they're talking about it, right?
Right. You got
Bad
it.
press is press.
That's right.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for all the latest fantasy and sports betting advice from NBC Sports Edge. And don't forget to sign up for NBC Sports Edge Plus to get the best-in-class draft guides, as well as season-long fantasy, DFS, and sports betting tools that will give you the edge.